To keep your air conditioner running efficiently, you'll want to deep clean it from time to time. I'll show you how. Today I'm using a Frigidaire air conditioning unit, but it's similar on all models. Before starting, wipe everything clean and use a little kerosene. You want to start with a clean exterior. Ours was pretty dirty, so we're going to let the kerosene soak while we're working on the inside. A Phillips head screwdriver will help remove all of the exterior screws so we can remove the outer shell. And now we'll take off the front, so pull off the front panel and unscrew here. This front panel, simply lift and remove. Of course, when you're using your air conditioner, you want to keep your filter clean it out several times during the season. This one's already been cleaned. Push in on the metal housing to release the front frame. Be sure and press in on the metal housing so you don't catch on this tab and bend your interior metal. Gently let this hang down in the front. Open the side wings and bend them back. Now we have freed the outer shell to lift right off. We'll need to get to the back of this coil, so we'll cut right through this foam strip. Sometimes the inside of the coil is filthy. This one is relatively clean. Even though this filter was cleaned often throughout the operating season, you can see how dirty the front of the coils are. You can also remove the shroud for the fan to access the rear coils. But in our case, these coils aren't even that dirty, so we're just going to have access to it right through the fan blades. We'll show you how. Of course, this unit has been unplugged from the beginning, and we're now going to spray the entire unit with water. We're going to clean the coils with a stiff brush and soapy water. Pouring directly onto the coils, we can scrape with the stiff brush in the direction of the coils, being careful not to ever go crosswise because that would damage or bend the coils. And just with very little scrubbing, you can already see quite a difference. Just pour it right in at the top and scrub downward gently. Of course, you want to steer clear of all the electronics, but especially of that big silver thing back there. That's the capacitor, and it stores a lot of power even when it's unplugged, so just steer clear. We'll cover the electronics with a plastic bag for this next part. We're going to be spraying water, so of course we're going to let this completely dry. The whole unit will be bone dry before we will plug it back in after cleaning. In most cases, these nylon bristles work great and are sufficient, but if you have a lot of grime on there that's not coming off, you can use a steel bristle brush, but use a lot of caution to be sure that you're never crossing the direction of the fins. Here's an example in the back of how some fins have been brushed against, or even just in carrying it, the hand or the arm pressed against and bent those fins. That affects the efficiency of the machine, so you definitely want to try to avoid that. Sometimes you can straighten crushed fins with a steel bristle brush like this, but of course the better situation is just to avoid the fins getting crushed at all. If they've not been pushed in too far, you can improve them. Now this one was pushed in pretty deep, but a lot of these are better than they were before. So again, with the nylon brush, just wipe it down. Now they do make special cleaner for this purpose, but we have found that just soapy water with a stiff nylon brush works pretty great. And as long as you're outside, you can use the garden hose to clean it up. So we'll spray all this down. This is a lot cleaner. Now we're wiping off the kerosene and we'll rinse it with soap and water. After everything's dried thoroughly, put everything back in reverse order. Everything's a lot cleaner now. The coils on the front look brand new, but the machine is about 5 years old. time to snap in the front panel. Once it's all assembled, set it in the sun for a little longer just to make sure it's thoroughly dry.